Hi everyone, welcome to Masai School. We are a 21st century career-focused coding school. My name is Aman Vats. I'm an engineering graduate from Birla Institute of Technology, Misra. I lead the data structures and algorithm curriculum at Masai School. So let me tell you about this video series. In this video series, we'll be introduced to computer programming. You will learn how to write basic computer programs. You will learn the basic constructs of a computer program, that is data types of variables, conditional statement, loops, functions, everything. And you will be learning this in Python. All right. So this is a very fundamental video to getting started with computer programming in Python. And this video series is actually a part of the pre-course for the full stack developer program at Masai School. And now we have decided to make this course available for all aspiring programmers. So we really hope that it helps you in getting started with computer programming and in Python. So happy coding. Thank you so much. Yeah, so in the last segment, we looked at how to take comments and work around with the input provided by user. In this segment, we'll have a look at how to perform arithmetic operation in Python. Okay, so one thing that computers are capable of doing exceptionally well is performing arithmetic. So what do I mean by that? These means numeric calculations like simple addition, subtraction, okay, multiplication, division, right? So different numeric calculation, computers are very good at doing that. So for example, if you provide suppose 6 plus 5, I mean it's similar to what we have, I mean what we do in mathematics. So 6 minus 5 will return 1, 6 plus 5 will return 11, 6 into 5 will return 30, and 6 divided by 2 will return 3. Okay, so it's similar to the what we have in mathematics. Okay, we just use the symbol between the two numbers that we want that operations to be performed, and then we get the output. We can store it on some variable as we had discussed earlier. And there are two more operations that I want to once visit before going to the programmatic implementation of these arithmetic operations. So one is finding out the power, as in some base raised to exponent. Okay, so Python can also do this task for you. Okay, so I mean addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and all other numeric calculation are easy to do in most programming language, and Python is also no an exception, not an exception to this. So how do you exactly do this task? Uh, we do base, 2 multiply sign, then exponent. This gives us base raised to the exponent. So suppose you want to do 2 cube, you can write it as 2 and 2 asterisk and then 3. We'll look at it programmatically right now in a minute. There is one more concept that I want to visit, that is modulo. So what it does is it returns the remainder when a number is divided by another number. For example, 6 modulo 5 is 1. Okay, because if you divide 6 by 5, you will have 1 as remainder. So suppose 19 modulo 4 will be 3. Okay, because when you divide 19 by 4, you will have 3 as remainder, because 16 is divisible by 4, so 3 is the remainder. So this is called modulus operation, and this is how we do it. So let's go back and let's look at how to programmatically implement this. All right, let's look at how to programmatically implement this. So suppose you want to store the output of 5 plus 6 on some variable num. Okay, so let's print this num. Let's run this code. So yeah, it showed 11. Why? Because what happened, we calculated 5 plus 6 and we have equated it to num. So num is a variable which holds this value 5 plus 6. Okay, so basically I mean you would have observed it earlier as well, this equal sign puts some value on that variable. So num is a variable. Essentially, if you drag back what we studied, num is a variable, which means it is a space in your memory location which can have some value, and to refer to that space in your memory location we can use the word num again. Okay, so num is storing 11. Similarly, what you could have done is you could have also stored 7 minus 3, so then num would store 4, because 7 minus 3 is 4. All right, similarly you would have put 7 multiplied by 3. So if we run this, it shows 21. So as you can see, we are easily performing some arithmetic operations uh, uh, in Python. Similarly, what if you wanted to divide it? Okay, so let's do one thing here. Let's print the type of variable num is. Okay, so how do we know what type of variable num is? We do type and we do num. So this basically means what data type does this variable num store. So run this. So it says yes, it's an integer type. Okay, so yeah, let's do one thing. Let's put the division operation. So this is division. So let's write this in comment. Okay, let's again run this. So what should be, think for a second, what should be the type of num now? Okay, it should be float, right? It should be float because the number lies between two integers. The number is floating between two integers, so it's showing that it's of type float. Okay, similarly we have ways of finding out powers. All right, so suppose so in these calculations, one thing we can also do is, suppose we have different variable like num1 is equal to 3, num2 is equal to 4, and you want to print num, or let's say final answer is equal to num1 into num2. Okay, so in this case what we are doing is basically we are assigning a variable, we are writing variable num1 in which we are storing 3, we have another variable num2 in which we are storing 4, and in the final answer variable we are putting the multiplication of num1 and num2 into the final answer variable. So if we print final answer this time, let's see what it does. So if we run it, it shows 2. Okay, so you need not just directly put the numbers as in arithmetic operation. You can perform the operations on the variable as well, where those variable hold a particular value. All right, so that's one way of doing it. Let's look at the other way. So let's try to find the uh, power in the same way. So suppose base is equal to 2. Suppose exponent is equal to 3, and let's suppose I write answer is equal to base, and this is how we do it. Double multiplication sign returns is base raised to the power of exponent. So this basically implies 2 raised to the power 3. Okay, so let's see the output. Let's print the answer variable. So let's see what value does it hold. Okay, let's see what value. Let me clear this. So yeah, it holds 8 because 2 cube is 8. All right, 2 into 2 into 2 is 8. Okay, so basically what happened in this program, let's see line by line. So we declared a variable base in which we stored a variable value 2. Then we declared a variable exponent in which we stored value 3. And then we declared another variable answer in which we put the value which is equal to base raised to the power exponent. And then we printed that value. Okay. Suppose what if we want to print the type of value answer is, the type of variable answer is. So let's look at that. Okay, so we have seen this earlier. So now the program should ideally put these two values. So it printed 8 because as the output for line 6, and again it printed int as a output for line 7. All right, so this is how we find power or base raised to exponent. Let's, as we discussed, let's find out the modulus. So let's find the modulus operation. So suppose num1 is equal to 19, num2 is equal to 4, and suppose I'm writing a remainder remainder is equal to num1, this sign, this percentage sign, num2. So remainder would contain, I'll write it here, remainder contains the remainder when num1, because it's written prior to num1, num2, num1 is divided by num2. All right, so if I just print that, print remainder, so let's see what it prints. So it prints 3. Why? Because when num1, that is 19, is divided by 4, the remainder is 3. Let's place some other values at 23, and let's put 2 here. Okay, so the value should be 1, right? Because 2 into 11 is 22, and remainder will be 1. So these are some of the basic operations that are performed in that can be performed using any programming language. The arithmetic operations that we just looked are addition, subtraction, multiplication, modulo, and division. Okay, and also we looked at power. At this point, there is one important thing that I want to highlight. An important point. I'll write the comment. So I hope you remember how to write the comments. An important point. So suppose we have written x is equal to 5. So we have declared a variable name x, and we have placed the value 5 in that particular variable. Suppose if I write x is equal to x plus 5. Okay, so, and let's print this value. So at this point, it might not be making much sense. I mean, if you are completely new to programming, and if you have just seen this kind of equations in maths, so this equation, I mean, first of all, it seems like it's an incorrect equation. So I'll write it. It seems like it is an incorrect equation, because this equation cannot be true, right? Because a variable is equal to that value plus 5, right? It seems like it's, I mean, if you cut x, then it becomes, so don't see it like equation. The first advice would be, in program, what this means is, so what it basically implies is x is equal to, so basically this is assignment. So what you are doing is, you are assigning the variable x with the value that x was previously, then adding 5 to it. Okay, let me share the whiteboard to explain you in a better fashion what exactly I'm trying to say. So yeah, let me clear this. Okay, so when we say, so all right, there is some problem. Yeah, let's look at it. So when we write x, I don't know what is happening. Okay, so when we write x is equal to 5, what this basically means is, in the RAM and the memory that we have access to, we have taken space of one variable and we have placed 5 in it. Okay, so there are many such locations that you have access to, but suppose this is x, this is x, and we have placed 5 in it, this is x. Okay, variable is just a name referring to a particular memory location. Okay, and we have put 5 in it. Now when we say x is equal to x plus 5, this basically means is, whatever was present in x before, add 5 to it and place that particular number in x again. So it means that x is equal to whatever it was before. So it was 5 plus 5. So x would now become 10. Okay, so don't think of it as a wrong equation. It's not a wrong equation. Okay, it just means that place in x, whatever it was earlier, whatever it was earlier, or it is plus 5. Okay, so x is equal to x plus 5 means this particular cell in memory location is x. You place in it whatever it was, so it was 5 plus 5. So the new value in this particular cell would be 10. Okay, because it was 5 plus 5. Now if I do again x is equal to x plus 10, or say 20, what it means is, whatever the value present in x, so x is referring to this memory block, so whatever is the value present in this memory block, that is 10, add 20 to it. Okay, So adding 20 to it will make it 30. All right, so this would become 30. Okay, so this is very important to understand at this point, that writing a variable is equal to a variable plus 5 does not mean as an incorrect equation. It means adding 5 to that variable and storing it back in that variable. So let's go and look at how we implement it in program terms. Yeah, so I hope now you understand. Let's try to print this up. Let's try to print it. Let's run this command. Okay, so yeah, it showed 10. Let's play around with it. Let's put 7 in it. Let's again print it. So it should show 12. Yeah, it did show. Okay, let's put 20 in it, 23, and again run it. It should do 28. Sorry, yeah, it does show 28. Okay, so this is one very important point that you should not be confused with. Okay, x is equal to x plus 5. So yeah, now at this point I would like you to do a question. Okay, so let's look at that question. I'll just quickly paste it in the screen as a comment. Okay, so that's not a right way of writing multi-line comment. So let's remove that and let's do it properly with three single quotes, the three single quote in the end. So suppose you have gone to buy pens, some n number of pens, and each pen costs 10.5 rupees. Find total price to buy 15 pen. Make a variable number of pens that stores the number of pen that to be bought, and another variable price per pen stores the price of each pen, and final variable called total cost that stores the total price. In the end, print it. Okay, we have extra challenge. What is the data type of total cost? So let's do it one by one. I would suggest you guys to pause the video at this moment, try it on your own, and then come back. So yeah, pause it now and try it. So let's try to look at, I hope you tried it. So let's try to look at how do we do that. So let's make a variable num of pens. So num of pens is a variable that stores the number of pens to be bought. So we have about 15 pens, and price per pen stores the price of each pen. So it's 10.5 as mentioned in the problem statement. Now total cost is equal to, that stores the total price. So what will be the total cost? Total cost will be product of number of pens and price per pen. So let's do that. Number of pens into price per pen. Okay, so what we have done is we have declared two variables, num of pens which stores 15, price per pen which stores the price of each pen, total cost which is equal to number of pens, that is whatever the value present in the variable number of pens, multiplied by price per pen. Why we are multiplying? Because that is how you do it. I mean, if you have to find the total cost. Now let's print total cost. Okay, let's run this. Let's run this. Yeah, it's one. Okay, yeah, it's 157.5. All right. So suppose you want to, so the extra challenge, what is the data type present in total cost? So how do we check that? We check it by using the word type. So type total cost. Let's try to run it now. So it should print float because the output is a floating value between two integers. So it's a floating value. Let's run this. So yeah, it does print float. Okay. So yeah, so to wrap things up, uh, we can easily perform numerical operations or arithmetic operations in Python. It's very similar to how we write in usual day-to-day life on pen paper. It's just those symbols, addition plus sign for adding two numbers up, minus sign for subtracting, and there are two new addition. Base raised to the power exponent is done using two asterisk sign, and the last one is modulus, which returns the remainder when number one is divided by number two. Okay, we can either perform these tasks on number itself, or we can assign those numbers to variables, and we can perform these tasks on the variables then. All right, and yeah, that's pretty much it. See you in the next segment.